Minister, you finally moved on carbon tax today. How confident are you that there isn't going to be a public backlash or protest that we've seen around water charges in the past?
There is a risk that there will be a reaction back to us. I'm very sensitive to that. It's the reason why I did not make a move on carbon taxation last year. And I lived through all of the political difficulties in relation to water charging, and I've learned from it. There's two things that I've looked to do to try to respond back to that level of anxiety. The first one is I'm giving a commitment that money that is raised in carbon tax next year due to this increased rate will be going back into climate-related measures and activity. And the second thing that I'm doing is putting in place a very modest first change. So I'm doing both of those things in recognition of all I learned from dealing with water charging.
You announced in the budget that you're going to have some tax clampdown in relation to REITs. What exactly do you think is going on in the market there? What is it that you're targeting as bad practice?
I have real concerns in relation to how the issue of expenses within some of these organisations have been managed. Because they're being managed in a particular way, I then have concerns about the level of tax that they're paying. And then I have a particular concern in relation to how stamp duty is being managed. And companies putting in place planning arrangements that means they're not paying what I believe to be the right level of taxation. These organisations have a role to play here in Ireland in providing long-term additional accommodation and commercial property, but I do have expectations regarding how tax is paid, and I've decided to act on that today.
No mention in your speech, you said that there's going to be $2 billion spent in rural Ireland, but no mention of the big obvious thing, which is broadband. Why was that?
I'm absolutely committed to the rural broadband process. I reaffirmed that recently in front of the Budget Oversight Committee. As you know, earlier on in the year, I decided to support that process and that project. The honest reason why I didn't get in the end is the speech was already around 70 minutes long, Kevin, and if we put a lot of other things in, we could still be in the Dáil chamber.
How much will you have for broadband next year?
I'm setting aside the money that is needed for broadband out of the €200 million capital reserve that I set aside. I think Richard will be confirming soon what the figure it is, but it'll be inside what I've already said, which is approximately €45 million.
Minister.